Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. This video is mainly going to be me talking about tarot, but I have some random things that I'm going to show and talk about. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was how I use the Hush Tarot, and I still have to make a bag for it before I get into how I use the Hush Tarot. I want to show my knitting progress for this tarot bag, or actually it's an oracle bag that I'm making for the Kitsune Oracle. So I didn't use 40-inch needles. I'm actually using two circular needles, but sometimes it gets to just having one of them, but once I do the row, it's gonna turn back into using both of them. So I'm liking how it's turning out. This is scrap yarn, and I did the magic loop, and the bag that I have for the Kitsune Oracle is getting tethered, so this should be done. I do it here and there, so it's been an ongoing project, but I probably don't need long to do it. This is what I have right now. Another thing that I wanted to talk about that's going to be in this video is stuff that's in my more of my everyday tarot or an oracle box. Decks that I have been using lately, but there's also a good amount of decks that are my standards because I use a couple of them for client readings. And I'll talk about the Hush Tarot because I actually made a new type of reading with this deck. So when I first got it, I was thinking about what I wanted to do. So it reminds me about a combination of the Victorian Fairy Tarot and the Tarot of the Secret Forest. So it does have an older Victorian imagery to it, but there's more of a wildness, like the Secret Forest one. So I really love the combination. And I was using it for different types of readings. I would ask the questions and see what the capabilities are of this deck, because I knew just looking at the cards there are nice interpretations to it, but I use it for the Lover's Quarrel reading, which is one where I talk about the underlying energy or maybe a root cause for why a couple may not be agreeing with something or seeing, again, seeing eye to eye. So it has been excellent for those types of readings. And the reason why it's my default deck for this is because it told me something about my relationship that no other deck has told me about. So it takes time for decks to become a default deck because I do have a good number of decks, and you pick and choose which ones really fit it. Because, for example, the Tarot Nova is the default deck for my career money readings. it just speaks to me in that way. I don't use it for relationship readings. It just doesn't feel right to me using it for that. So, a very beautiful deck, and I love how the artist is from Philly. I say it in a lot of videos, but I was born in Philly, so that might be my bias too. But I really do love working with this deck, and the more I work with this deck, the more I have a love for it. I know that there's an oracle, but I don't think I'm going to be getting the oracle, because what happens when I get an accompanying deck, sorry, I said that wrong, a deck that was created by the artist, is that I have so much love for the first deck that I don't really put as much time into the second deck that I get, which happened with the Everyday Witch Oracle, because I really love that one. I just don't use it a lot. I'm eventually going to find something for it, but I like having different things to offer because I did revamp my shop recently. So another deck that I wanted to share is the Pro Tarot, because this deck is one that I kind of was not replacing, but it's not the type of artwork that I would go for normally. Not like it's bad imagery. It's beautiful imagery. It's just a different style. And this speaks to me the most with crow energy. So I do a message from the crow reading with this one. It's one that I recently posted. So I have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about, so I'm not going to get too much into this one. But the readings with this one are so direct, and there's a boldness with the crows in here. I think because they're so in your face that they really like to speak, and this is also a really respectful deck for me. There was considerations of putting it in my trade or sell pile, not for the reason that I didn't like reading with it, because it had so much potential with me. It was just one where I didn't have that much of a connection to the artwork in that way, which me liking it as much. But I noticed with a lot of my decks that I connect to the most are decks that have imagery that I wouldn't normally choose, like the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. I have a close connection with that one. So before I get into another deck, I wanted to show socks because I needed socks, and I really love the Golden Girls socks. I also have pajamas because I wanted a matching pair of pajamas, a shirt and pants, but I usually wear shorts, so eventually I'll get to it. But that was what it was available in the store. And what I love is that they're thinner material, because there is one at the top. They are a little big for me, but I don't mind at all. And they're really comfy for me. So I took I just came from my close friend's house, which I'm gonna say that I'm filming video while texting this to her. We just went out to eat. It was really nice. She's fun, and we hang out a lot. So I took my everyday box out of my car because I was gradually like pulling stuff out of it, and eventually I just brought it in because I didn't want to bring everything into my godmother's place, because I was going to move it out anyway in less than a month, and the place will be available, so I'm so excited for that. So there's one thing that isn't in the box, and it's that I'm mentioning. It's the Magdalene Oracle Sorry, I haven't been saying the names for these decks, so I know the Hush Tarot is Jeremy Hush. I know the Crow Tarot's MJ Cullian. I think that's her last name. This one is Tony Carmine Salerno. I really like his decks. He has the Crystal Tarot. I love the backs of these. These are the newer editions. I prefer these backs to the original one, which is nice because this is what I got in the store in Florida. And it also reminds me of the Queen Up book cover. It's a nice book too. It does switch up the swords and the wands in there, which I don't mind because a lot of times I like associating myself with the Queen of Wands. I'm a Libra. Sometimes I like the Queen of Swords too, and it's a nice switch up because sometimes in a deck I really love one or the other. Sometimes I love both. So this has been an amazing deck. And it's not one that I talk about a lot, but especially when I am going through stressful times, because there's a lot happening right now, is when this deck really speaks to me. So there's just so much in here. And I really like the Magdalene energy to it, too. Because I do relate to, like, maybe the black sheep persona, if some people consider this one of those things. I also have a video response I have to do of this deck. I'm so sorry. Very kind lady who, I got this deck when, I got it a couple years ago, and then it started getting more prevalent, and it's actually a deck that's in a museum in Italy. So this one is a video response because somebody asked me to do it, so I haven't gotten to it yet because I just got it out of my car. I'm sorry, but I am going to do it this week. I actually put the Everyday Witch Tarot in this box because I did get another bag. It's the My Chemical Romance bag, and I got it because of, I didn't want to bring my really nice bag to work, which is a backpack too, but this one's pretty too, and I love My Chemical Romance. I did grow up in New Jersey, South Jersey, and in New England, so this band is based in New Jersey, and it has a little less space than my other one, but it still has just about the same amount of space. So I like to either keep my Theater Dolls Tarot. I believe that deck is Mysteries of Mary Tarot deck. I know that she created a website, the person that did it, because I got it off of Etsy. So this is the Theater Dolls Tarot. I love how the detail is, and the messages are spot on, and it gives you so much to think about. It's such an analytical deck, and it's ingenious with the translations. This is a Russian deck, so for my ease, I did write down the cards, so there was a top with it too. I had a Russian piano teacher, and I had Russian as an elective, but that's my extent. So this is a deck that I really love carrying in my bag. Either that or the Everyday Witch. At a point I was carrying both, but now it's not going to fit both of them. I also love the Spiral Tarot. I don't have a lot of time left on my camera because I just filmed my collaboration too, which isn't long, but I did write a script for it. And this is one of the main decks that I use in New Jersey because the last time that I was in New Jersey, I got this deck and I did readings for my friends with this one. It was New Year's and we got together. So it's a special deck to me. Let's see. My mangrove runes are here, so I made the petrified mangrove runes. I made them out of driftwood, and it was a beaded cut because they're solid. Because you can even hear them clank too. And they have like they had more of a sheen, but since they were in the car, they did emit some particles from the wood. I hope that was okay, because I clanked on my laptop by accident, but it was closed anyway. I love the mass-produced version of The Wild Unknown. I did have the self-published version, but the self-published version was a thicker matte cardstock that I wasn't keen on shuffling it, so I didn't really use it, but I had a good friend of mine that wanted it, so I believe I traded it for something else. So the Golden Girls are in here. I love these cards. They're so fun to use, and I think about the show and associations and their personalities. It's a fun deck. I haven't posted that one on my shop yet, but I'm definitely going to be using it for reading. My Terra Nova's in here. I love my Terra Nova. Osho Zen, Slavic Tarot. I love the detailed decks. Sometimes I don't use the detailed decks. The New Orleans Voodoo Tarot is one that I used a lot when I first got it. An Oracle deck that I've been using is I have been using the Fairy Forest deck, but I've been also loving the Spirit of the Animals Oracle, which I saw on Amber's channel originally. I love how big they are, just to do... Well, this isn't a standard size comparison, because this is smaller, but would be a little taller than that, but they are large cards, and I just love seeing the images, and there's a wispiness to the artwork, so this was my card for today. So, Lizard Regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt, embrace your transformation, put on your new cloak. You're the master of regeneration. So, I know that there's another deck that is by the artist, but that are these, but I don't think I'm going to be getting those because I have this one, and I know that I use this one a lot, and I will most likely not use that one a lot. So, just seeing what else is in here. I didn't put my Goddess Dream Oracle in here. It's somewhere else. I had to put it in here, actually. And then I have my Book of Spreads. I've also been really loving journaling and writing in the notebook that my best friend gave me. It's a leather-bound one with no lines inside, and you can refill the inserts, which is something that's a game changer for me because I've had those things in the past where I would get one every time I ran out of paper, but now that I can refill it, there's just so much more I could do with it. So I really love that, as well as my noise maker that I hear the rain at night and it's soothing. I also got a Rick and Morty charger, which I really wanted to because I needed a charger to carry around in my bag. So I didn't want to turn it into a clothing haul, but I mean, not clothing haul, like favorites of it, but I have a olive green that I'll have in one of my videos eventually, and it's down to my ankles, so it's a long cardigan. So that's my time. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye. I also wanted to show my old copy of the Animal Wise Tarot. I feel like this is a different copy because I did receive the newest copy because I've seen this for years in one of the shops that I would go to up in Massachusetts, and I got the store copy because the borders are lighter and the pictures are brighter. And the newer one that I have, it's dimmer and it's kind of see-through. Even though I replaced the backing, and it's really a lot because I did a lot to it to make it be workable with the lamination and the spray paint. So, I also have the pink one, but the pink one reads differently because the keywords are more highlighted. They're larger on the pink one, and I really get into the animals when I use this one. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.